thank you so much. No, I asked you to cut short for my biography. I thank you very much. I think this event is very important. I'm confident it will deliver through your leadership, Piero, and our Greek friends and you all. And I think it could be nice to start with an entertainment introduction. Why I'm here to study the Emperor Hadrian aqueduct in Athens. That was made, completed around mid-2nd century after Christ. And Hadrian, emperor, loved Athens in Greece, spent very much time here. As you know, we went around the Hadrian Arch in the very city center. We know here there is the Hadrian Gate, the Hadrian Library, the Gymnasium, and so on. He was also an architect because he rebuilt Pantheon in Rome. Here you see he personally designed the temple of Venere Roma, Venus and Rome temple in front of Colosseum. So in my life, I tried many times to create a good relation with Emperor Hadrian, 1,900 years later. So I brought here a fashion event with Valentino in Tempio di Venere Roma for the first time after his redesign. And that was because I have a personal conflict of interest, because Emperor Hadrian restructured the Acqua Marcia aqueduct, a 2nd century before Christ, among the huge investment in infrastructure that was very precious for the fountain my great-grandfather, Mario Rutelli, realized in Rome. Maybe you've seen it in Rome. It's a fountain, Fontana delle Naiadi, close to the railway station. And that's also thanks to Hadrian, because he restructured, rewarded his engagement, creating a tunnel under his tomb. This is the Hadrian Mausoleo, Castel Sant'Angelo, very close to St. Peter's. I was half part unsuccessful. I made half part of the tunnel, and I think he could appreciate that, not having cars anyway in front of his tomb every day, and traffic, ordinary traffic. But my attempts very likely failed when, as Minister of Culture, I brought back to Italy the portrait of his wife, Vibia Sabina. That has been stealed near Tivoli, Villa Adriana. This is the real portrait, and brought to an American museum, the Boston Fine Arts Museum. So I think that was not appreciated by Hadrian, because at the very end he had other preferences in his life. And having back his wife 1,900 years later maybe was not exactly his desire. So I think that shifting to the content, so I started from the Hadrian Aqueduct, Roman infrastructures, incredible, amazing results our ancestors obtained. I think our generation has new responsibilities, and in Brussels, we heard, I think European Union is aware that maybe we had too much regulation and too little support for industries in the last time. European Water Resilience Strategy 2025, that has been announced by the new Commissioner, is absolutely important. The European Parliament a few days ago established that water, again, is a decisive sustainability, economic, investment, innovation area. ANCE in Italy, through Federica Brancaccio leadership, established also a very interesting cooperation with the Architettura Biennale in Venice. Frankly, I advise, my personal advice is to visit it. It's an ordinary event. Today is chaired by Carlo Ratti, the architect, and with Federica, they gave a great impulse on innovation. You had robo working astonishingly in cooperation with trade unions to make hard, dangerous work made by robots in some areas. That was interesting. And of course, the focal point for Biennale di Architettura is adaptation to climate change. That's very interesting, that's very new. And my message is, and the Carlo Ratti message is, how architecture must act inside the existing climatic crisis, how to absorb and use water, both ordinarily when it's too much, how to have it when there is no enough water. Adaptation is a need and a huge strategic opportunity. You perfectly know that in Indonesia, the city capital is not anymore Jakarta. They had to transfer it 800 kilometers away in Nusantara due to subsidence. You know, of course, what happened in Valencia, what is happening in many areas of the world, what's happening to bridges, what's happening for insurance markets. The world is changing very, very rapidly, and I think this is a part of a new agenda for EU governments, local and regional powers, society, and a vision of sustainability that is not negative, ideological, and it is for industrial purposes. My conclusion is that yesterday on a paper on Financial Times, there was an interesting op-ed that explained how only 22% of EU business have an adaptation strategy, and how building in this area has today a $424 billion value, plus $94 billion for water infrastructures. I was telling mio precedente relatore Rubik that water is a Greek word in etymology. Infrastructure is a Latin word, so it's a good marriage again. So adaptation, resilience investments will necessarily grow. And I think this industry, under your leadership, can drive a strategic transformation in the interest of our cities and communities, of skilled workers, of companies, and for EU growth and competitiveness. I think we will have many fights about mitigation, but more and more convergence, and I hope this is an industrial purpose, on adaptation. Thank you very much.